What's up, everybody, and welcome back here at We Are Kenami. Guys, we're already in episode 5, and we're going to be talking about the New Year hustle and bustle. Yes, that is the title for today's episode. So, we actually have a guest speaker, and we have two main speakers. So, I'm going to introduce the main ones first before I show you our special guest or share you
Oh
guys
my
our special
God.
guest. So, we have
Dude,
we have Andre,
hello.
we have Varun,
Hey.
and then we also have, and everyone, drum rolls, drum rolls.
Oh.
We have Azalea here joining in today's episode. You guys have no idea how
Hello.
excited I am for him to join in. Oh my God.
Woo.
Hello.
So, for
Zay.
you guys,
Woo.
as the listeners or viewers, you guys are probably wondering, yo, why is Jennifer so excited for her? Like, what's going on? Let me
I'm
just share
wondering
something.
too.
Listen, I'm going to share. She was part of the Discord community since day one, and she was chit chatty nonstop and everything. I fucked with her vibe. She's just that girl, yo. She's like the little sister I've always wanted. And then she just disappeared in Discord. Like I was like, yo, what's up? But now she's here. She's joining with us in this episode. So before we get started, I'm just going to discuss. We're going to go over a few topics. So we're going to start with reflecting on the month and the year. So now that we're getting a lot closer to hitting 2025, if there's is there anything you guys want to share in terms of achievements, maybe a challenge or even a personal growth highlight from the year of 2024? If anything, I'll start off with you, Andre. Is there anything that you want to share first?
Um, for me, I would say my achievement is moving out. Like I have a place that's not necessarily my own, but I am moving out with
It
with
still
with, with
counts.
roommates. Yeah, it still counts. Like I've moved out from my family's place, and I'm with my with roommates, but it's a place I can call my own. I'm doing it with my own cash, so yeah, feels
Lovely.
good.
Yeah,
It,
man.
it's a big feat.
Yup. He's independent now, Mr.
Damn
Independent.
straight.
He's an independent girl. Oh my God.
Don't you talk back to me.
So, Azalea, what about you? Anything that you want to share?
Any achievements?
It could either be an achievement, a personal growth highlight, or even a challenge.
Well, I mean, I've actually been consistent with my lifting since I added it to my home. Um, for the most part, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess my biggest achievement was going to Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Yo, she had fun. Saw all those
That was
videos
that was my biggest achievement.
of it. Well, it's because it's been a while for you too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Biggest achievement, and honestly, the biggest achievement from that is getting through customs. That was nuts.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, they were like, I showed up. He was like, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" And I said, "No."
No.
I was expecting you to say yes.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
No,
sorry.
I was like, "No." I was just told to come over here, and he was like, "Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure." And I was like, and he was like, I show him my passport, and he's like, can you step in the Azul line?" And I was like, did I not just speak perfectly clear English to you?
I 70 a small
Oh,
line.
I said, the what? And he said, the blue line, step on the blue line. I was like, oh, my bad. Yeah, yeah, I'll go step over there. I was so nervous. My hands were like sweating. And then like,
Oh.
since I'm like, I have parole, that's why I like had to go through all of that. You always get like questioned. But it was my first time doing it, and I
Mm.
was scared shitless. Am I allowed to cuss?
yeah, you're fine.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. I was scared shitless. I was like, I just want to go home, brother. And then they wouldn't let my husband come with me, so I was like, I'm vulnerable. I'm alone.
Oh my God.
And and when I get uncomfortable, I don't shut the fuck up.
Okay. So
I'm like,
you're a chatter when you're nervous.
yeah. So
Yeah.
when I'm sitting there so uncomfortable, this like, and this is in Texas too, and this man is just like, okay, you need to come with me. And I'm like, okay, and I'm just walking, and this feels like the world's longest walk. And I'm like, so do you guys do this every time? And he's like, oh. It was like, you don't want to do it? If you don't
Oh,
want to do it, we can go, you can just go back to Mexico.
damn, no way.
No, he legit shit said that.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like, no, 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 no. I didn't say that. I was just curious.
I'm just
I've
trying to have a
never,
conversation with you, sir. Like, come
You
on.
know,
yeah,
yeah, no, like
I was just trying to make
You know what?
chat.
You went, you're here now.
Yeah,
You're
that
here.
was the most
well,
stressful like 10 minutes of my life. As soon as like they didn't even ask me a question. They just did my background check and then the lady called my name and then she was like, "Okay, you can go." And I was like, "For real? Like I can go like that way? Like I can." I
Yeah.
didn't even ask like I was like, "That door?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm getting the fuck out of here." As soon as
yeah.
I got out, I was like, "Where's my husband?" And then I
I
saw
just
him
pictured
around the
you running,
corner.
running out.
I was like speed walking. I looked like those suburban moms that are
Oh,
like speed walking in the neighborhoods. That's what I looked like, just walking out of that customs room trying to be so calm. I didn't want them to like change their mind. I like walked out. I looked around the
Mm.
corner. I saw my husband and I was like, "Oh my God, thank God."
it's I know it's a little off topic, but what happened to me when I was in Peru before the pandemic, I booked it last minute because I was surprising my mom that I was going to go with her. Um,
Uh-huh.
so it's like when I was coming back from Canada is where they took me to a different room because they were questioning why I made a last minute booking. They went over,
Oh.
yo, it was fucking weird. They went over through all of my luggages, my backpack, even my camera. They wanted to see what was in those pictures. I was like, you guys want to see videos too? Like,
Like I
we
got
can watch them
videos.
together. I have no problem. So then, like, they're like checking all these things. They're like, oh, they even asked, why did you book last minute? And I was like, because it was a last minute decision. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, I
Like
just
that's
Mhm.
did.
literally
Yeah.
it. The most natural human thing
You
to
know what
do.
I'm saying? It's like, oh, we just have to do these protocols. I'm like, yeah, no, it's okay. You're doing your job, but
Yeah.
I'm a last minute person, so can I go now?
Like I was hoping they weren't gonna ask me a question because I was like, I'm so uncomfortable right now.
I know it's I get it. But okay, moving forward,
Yeah. Sorry.
up this all day if you wanted to. Marilyn, is there anything that you would want to share?
Um, in this last year, I think I'm glad that I just kind of stuck to a better routine that, I created a couple years ago, but I've just stuck to it, going to the gym, meditating and working on projects. Now I'm also buckling down and trying to do my like final work so I can start applying to bigger jobs. So, like creating my portfolios for comic books and,
Mhm.
video games. So I'm just my New Year's resolution, I guess, would be to go forward with that and get a good portfolio done so I can start really showing it around to a lot of places.
Damn, he's
That's about it.
going big 2025. Oh, I love it.
Hopefully.
Mhm.
I love it.
Big.
So for myself, actually, when it comes to reflecting of the year, this is something that I discussed with them before the recording to the listeners or viewers. The biggest achievement, or I guess highlight of 2024 is now being a pet mom. I now have a 4-month-old kitten and a puppy. I love
You
them
did
Mhm.
that
to
to
death.
yourself.
Listen, I love them, but shit's stressful.
That's a
Like,
lot of energy to handle. You
it's
did
the
it to
emotional
yourself.
breakdown that I had. Like it's high in stress. That's a mini challenge for myself is just learning to juggle between owning pets and then having my personal life because I feel like I don't have that anymore and I don't feel like myself, but I'm
Mm.
trying.
Yeah.
Another challenge I would say is Konami. And this is going to be a topic that we're going to discuss more in season 3. So that's a little teaser for you guys. But in throughout 2024, it's just been a lot of ups and downs, not knowing where this business is going to go, where are we going to take it. Even with the podcast, it's a lot of like self doubts that I'm having. Where there
Mm.
was moments where I'm like, I kind of just want to end everything and just focus on my personal. Just I
Mhm.
guess because it's just easier that way. I know my routine, I know what I need to do, and I don't want to focus so much on another thing where it might look like a hobby for another person, but we're trying to make it into something bigger. So like that has been my challenge of the year. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's natural to like want to quit. Like,
It
because
is.
if you're not a business owner, if you don't want to quit it at some point,
Hmm.
like you like want to quit your business multiple times at some points, especially when it gets exhausting or hard, or you're just kind of like, I'm not sure about this. I want to get rid of it. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. But then like you have this little voice in the back of your head that's like, but I really like it.
I know. It's because I always think about the community and what we're trying to stand for now. Now that we have a direction, it's just being patient for like entering the path of results. Cause like I'm the kind of person where when I'm doing something, it's like, fuck, I want to see shit now. Like, how long do I have to wait? Because my whole life has just been nothing but patience and patience and patience.
Hmm.
Like, bro, like, I just,
Nothing's gonna try your patience like a business.
yup, it's true.
Like literally, when you at least make an LLC here in the States, they literally tell you this LLC is its own entity. Like this thing counts as its own person,
Mm,
essentially.
yeah,
And so like it quite literally is another like it's your baby.
yep, that's
Hmm.
And like you have to like do so much to take care of this business, make sure everything is legally sound, make sure that like make sure you don't like mess it up, do the taxes correctly.
yep.
Oh yeah.
And
It's a lot. It's a lot.
it's a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think
It's
And it
one thing is
takes
it's well, I was just gonna say it's like an endurance kind of sport in a sense where um a lot of people chase the high of fighting against that feeling of wanting to quit.
mm,
Like people who are like mountain climbing or even long distance runners, like they chase that feeling, that high you get from
yeah,
battling against that feeling again and again. And on the way to the top, any pursuit, I think if you look at the story of anyone that's accomplished anything, they've had many moments where they're like, is this really worth it or should I? And I think that's natural because we get tired and we get in a bad mood and we have bad days. But I think our ultimate like definition or like destiny, the choice we make is like bigger than those little letdowns. And every now and then you need a second to like take a break, take a pit stop, you know.
Hmm.
But one
like
thing is I don't care for quitting because I feel like if you keep changing direction every day, you don't go anywhere. You
it's
know,
Yeah.
it's going
it's
in circles.
exactly. It's you guys are right, and it goes with anything too. So for the listeners or viewers, like I'm pretty sure you guys are also going through a challenge where you're probably feeling the same way of wanting to quit and stuff like that. So really, whatever it is that he just said, take that to heart. And it goes back to a previous episode with my coach where he said, set the standard, not just the goals, set the standard. Because when you set the standard, you're going to stick with it versus when you set a goal, we tend to flop, we get lazy. Yo, I'm telling you guys, if you missed out on that episode, definitely tune in on that one.
there's like
Hmm.
so like there's this percentage that when I was thinking about how you were saying you want it to like you want the results like now, there's this thing that I was thinking about that there's a statistic that at the 5 year mark, a lot of businesses end up shutting down.
Yes,
They like people shut down their businesses at the 5 year mark.
they say so from what one of my mentors told me because he's owned a business for more than I would say 15 years.
Mm,
Like when you hit that 5 year mark, it's now you can claim or say to yourself like, yes, I now own a business because you've gone through all of these roller coasters, whatever. But in order to now tell yourself like I own a business would be at the 10 year mark.
hmm.
It's because from what he was telling me, it takes 5 to 10 years to see your business rise up. And if it starts,
Yeah.
have to take a reset and figure things out, like how do you improve, maybe shifting and, I guess like more of your strategic moves, maybe the internal team. Like there's a lot of in depth going on with that, but that's something that he would always tell me. Um,
Mm.
don't want us to talk too much about the whole Kenami thing. That's a different topic for another time.
Hmm.
Before we hop on to like the next topic, is there anything else that you guys want to share? Like anything else from the year of 2024, guys? It has been a year, let me just say.
It really has. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I guess, oh my God, I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I got my driver's license the same day.
What?
I obviously in the opposite order. I got my driver's license in the morning, and
Okay.
then I got my wisdom teeth taken out after.
Mm.
That would have been crazy.
I was gonna say you're gonna be all drugged up while doing your driving
No,
test.
I didn't get drugged up.
What? No way.
No, I didn't because he gave me the option. He said
Yeah.
the dentist said you can either go to an oral surgeon and get anesthesia and get knocked out,
Hmm.
or you can just do it here, and we just numb the areas. And I was like, I'm gonna be awake for it, and he was like, yeah.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
That's an option.
yeah. I was like, how soon can I do it? And he was like, you can literally come in like next week. And I was like,
Might as well do
how
it.
much is it gonna be? And it was like $184 out of pocket. And he was like, out of pocket, you probably would have paid more at the oral surgeon. And I was like,
Oh
let's
yeah.
just do it. Let's just do it at the dentist. And
Yeah.
he was like, okay. So they numbed my shit and then they like took it out. My husband was there. He was terrified because it looked like he was just putting all that work in.
Oh God. Yo,
And he was worried.
was your mouth numb when you were doing your driving test?
No. No,
I was gonna say, that shit would have been.
because
That
I
shit
went to get my driver's license first.
okay, okay.
First, yeah.
That's what you said first, because I was gonna say that would have been funny.
No, that would have been hysterical. But like when I did it after, I was like, man, I'm beat up, brother. I was
Oh,
like, take me home.
I
Because
just
he was literally like rocking my shit. And he had to like cut this tooth, my bottom left. He had to like cut it a little more because it was still in there.
okay.
And I felt it because he didn't, like, it wasn't
Oh,
fully numbed.
oh,
So I was like, oh, I felt that. And he was
yeah,
like, oh, did you really? He was like, all right, I'm so sorry. Give me a
yeah.
second. And he like numbed it. And I was like, all right, I'm chilling now. And he was like, okay. And I was just sitting there quiet. My husband was worried to death, petrified. And I was like, all right, cool. We're done.
I remember before we continue, guys, when I got my wisdom teeth out was a week before my second year in college, and I had to do the anesthesia because I guess that's what the option that my dad picked or whatever. So like
Yeah.
I was challenging the person that's supposed to do that. I don't know what they're called, but he looked at me
The
like I can't.
Anesthesiologist.
Yeah,
anesthesiologist.
Yeah,
there you
there you go.
go. So I remember I was like on the table, and he's like, "When I count to three, like you're not gonna make it at three." And I was like, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
want to bet?"
don't
You
want
don't
to
want to
bet.
I'm
bet.
I'm not joking. I actually looked at him. I
Do
actually
the surgery pro bono.
I'm not even joking. I actually looked at him and I was like, I don't believe you. I'm gonna bet you I'm gonna be awake. So as soon as he count one, yo, I knocked the fuck out. I woke up like, like I was like, yo, what happened?
This girl really bet a whole ass professional.
I did, man.
I bet I'm gonna be up,
She
gonna be up, going.
she placed a bet on
Go.
a whole ass professional like he hasn't been doing it for the past like 30 years.
That's how I do it, man. Um, let's continue on though. Uh, in terms of handling year-end stress or even holiday burnout, because I know like you guys just went through the whole American Thanksgiving. I'm Canadian, guys. All of them are Americans in this podcast, by the way. The whole like celebrating New Year's and stuff. Are you guys going through any high end stress, like trying to organize or gatherings or knowing that the New Year's about to enter? Like, are you guys going through anything right now or not at all? Like, are we all just chilling or are we stressed?
It's
I
always
say,
stressful in the
yeah.
beginning.
Hmm.
Once it's like leading up to it, it's so fucking stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And like, like you tell yourselves like, "Oh, no, we don't want to do that much. We're just kind of gonna chill out." And then eventually it kind of starts building up a little bit. So like we wanted to do a turkey. Like my husband and I just wanted to bring the turkey because it looked like it was easy from like a video that we saw because they didn't even do the stuffing.
Okay.
And so we're not doing the stuffing, or we didn't do the stuffing. And, you know, like just building up to it, going to the stores, and it's like last minute some things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell, rosemary out everywhere? Like you just kind of question your sanity.
Oh my God. This
Like,
girl,
why does everyone need this specific thing when I need it?
this fucking girl.
Yeah.
And
That's that. Oh my God.
especially with like a big family too, like my husband has, when you love them all, you want to give them all Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
And then you look at your bank account and I'm like, girl, I have $4. What can I get these people for
Origami.
$4?
You get those sheets of paper from a dollar
I'm
store.
getting them all cup noodles. This is my love language.
Head.
You all
All
get a
called
cup noodle.
Oh
Yo,
man, so like what? Yeah.
if that actually happens, can you please take a video? Like that.
I would like, listen, what happened?
I
Where
mean, I don't think I can
did
ever
I go wrong? How did I end up on this list of cup of noodles?
I just
listen, it's the love language.
and we're all laughing still.
It's a love language. Just accept my poor gift, okay? I'm a poor girl. I don't got money.
Yo, honestly, guys,
This is my effort, okay?
that's okay as long as it's cooked. Yo, don't give me cup noodles if you're not cooking it. Like
No,
if
no,
I
no,
oh
no, no,
like no
no.
no no, it's got to be cooked.
No, because then it's gonna get soggy.
You're
You're
not.
you're gonna get the cup noodles, and then we can all boil some water if you want to eat it now. But you don't
What
gotta
is
eat it
going
now.
on?
What about the boys?
What?
Are you guys going through like any stressors or any burnout currently or
I
not at
would
all?
say yes for me.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
would say yes, because I'm in that transition where I want to do more with what I got going on. Like I just want to more because I've been all over the place when it comes to like the realm of IT. Like I've touched upon so many things in it, and there's still so much more. But I need to pick a lane. I need
oh,
to really just like hone in on like one area of it and then just build it up because I have experience particularly in a set area, but I've been bouncing around it so often because I'm used to bouncing around it. That's how my career just went. I did one aspect of it to the next. But now I'm in this position where I'm at it again. Now I'm like, and like year's end, it's about to be a full-on year since I've been doing this. I want to focus more on to where I'm at in this area of support, where there's like a whole weave of it in there, dealing with servers or dealing with like building up access, software, protocols, group policies. There's so much in there that I already know but could build up on it, as
okay.
opposed to me focusing on like coding, dealing with APIs and the like. Like I know that stuff and I can always go back to it. But right now I need to really pick this lane and grow in it because like all the other stuff may eventually come back later, but this needs to be focused. Because if I keep jumping onto another
Hmm.
aspect of it, I'll just grow a little bit more and then that'll be it because my mind will bounce to something else.
And it's overwhelming. It sounds like it's really overwhelming.
It can be. It really can be. Like I have a tendency to not be able to just stop at one thing. Like my mind won't be satisfied if I'm focused on just one thing in particular.
Undiagnosed ADHD?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Armchair
Like
undiagnosed
Or
ADHD.
I don't know. Maybe that is the case, but yeah, I've realized that for myself, I could not stop at learning one thing or doing just this one thing. I find myself looking at something else like, you know what? It's a shame I haven't learned that yet. Why haven't I? Let's start
Well,
learning it. Like,
you have to specialize for your career, but at the same
yeah.
time, I have that kind of ADD. It's based, I don't know for you, but I think it might be the same where it's like an anxiety where you don't want to settle with one path. You want to try both paths so
Mhm.
you know which path is the right path and is the path you should have invested all your time in.
I was just gonna
But
say
you invested in both paths, you
I
know?
was gonna say something
Yeah.
similar to that because that's exactly what it sounds like to me. That's exactly
It's
what.
like you want to juggle what you have to hold and choose one thing. I do that all the time.
But then you're
because I
like, oh
don't
my
want
God,
to
this looks like fun
regret it.
too.
Well, it's fun, but it's also anxiety when it comes to the career issue because it's like which path is the most beneficial, the most productive, the most realistic, the most so you don't know,
Yeah.
so you don't want to take the wrong path for 10 years and then regret it. But I think the thing is there might not really be a wrong path. I think it's just the trick of the mind makes you think that there's one, but the truth is you need to dedicate yourself and grind through that one path
That, yeah.
Yeah.
like an insect, like a burrowing worm. Like you just have to keep going through it and you'll get somewhere eventually.
Damn. So that sounds like it's your 2025 goal then. Just stick
Just
to
Mm-hmm.
that one thing.
stick to it.
Gotta stick to it. Because if you
That
keep
that's
Really
how
stick to it.
around, it's just you're just gonna hold yourself back to, you never know where life could be actually taking you. Just gotta stick to one.
Yeah.
that's how I
I
feel
have to.
with like work. You just kind of reach this like burnout, and you just the amount of times I thought about just walking out of a house, just straight up dropping everything, walking out, just sitting in the car and like just not doing anything. And like I think the biggest moment that I recently had was like I walk into one of my client's son's room and I see that her
Mm.
second child is going to graduate next year.
Mm.
And when I started cleaning her house, I was 18.
Whoa.
And I was sitting there thinking, and I had just graduated high school. And when I last saw her kids, like, because I don't see them often, when I last saw her kids, they were itty bitty. They were shorter than me. And like now her second kid is going to graduate. Her first kid has tattoos on him. And I'm like, what? When did this
Damn.
happen? This was supposed to be a temporary thing. And now I'm over here almost 10 years and I still haven't moved on to what I'm gonna do next.
You know what? Like, I know for myself, that's something that I actually think about consistently. Being a massage
Hmm.
therapist is just more of like being a massage therapist is not a security thing.
Yeah.
If you're not
Mm.
fully booked throughout like the next couple of months, like your weeks could always be like a high and a low. You're making money or you're not making anything at all, right?
Yeah.
So I always think about like, yo, in the future, I want to travel, I want to own a house, I want to do this and that, but I can't always rely on this one thing. Like I need
Yeah.
more, like I need to do something more. And then that's the whole cycle of overthinking, trying to latch on, like how Andre is saying how he wants to do one thing and another and another. Like that's exactly, I'm pretty sure all of us have gone through that. Like, I want to do this. I love being a massage therapist, but I want to do more. Maybe I should own a clinic. Maybe I should do this, but I need like I need a security thing. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And then before you know it, you're like, whoa, you start feeling like you're running out of time.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
You're
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're
it's
like, things are moving fast. I'm running out of time to do all the things that I said I was gonna do. I can't put it off to
mm-hmm.
later again.
But see, it goes back to setting the standard, guys. Exactly what Coach Cruz said. Set the standard. Don't set the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Set the standard.
Standard. Set the standard.
Yeah. I told my husband that I think I'm just lacking the courage to because it's something that I've been doing literally as soon as I got out of high school. I lack the courage to actually just kind of leave and jump into like what I want to try to do.
But you know what? Like
Wow.
you even sharing what you're sharing right now is already a big step. You're acknowledging it. You already have like that desire of I don't want to do this long term. I want to do something else. A lot of people just get comfortable and they don't even think about that anymore.
Yeah, it's literally like it's comforting, like it's a comfortable position. It's a
Mhm.
comfortable place to be, especially working with my
Mm-hmm.
mom. Like it's comfortable by all means. It's also exhausting to work with your mom.
Your mom, yeah.
Exhausting.
I
Like
mean,
I
I
love her.
mean,
if you're already having those thoughts and stuff, same thing. 2025, starting to really, do your research and figure out what is it that you truly want to do.
Well, I mean, next year I'll probably have my phlebotomy certificate by then. So I
mm.
I have options because I did the phlebotomy program because we were trying to get me to have more money that I'm making on paper, I guess.
Okay.
More consistently, because it's not very consistent when you're self-employed.
Yeah.
Um, then we can apply to like get an FHA loan for a house of first
Okay.
time homeowners loan, something like that, because we want to buy a house. So like our biggest goal is buying a house right now.
And yo, adulting. Guys, an
Oh my
adult.
God, imagine.
Yo.
Could it be me?
I guess we're moving over to New Year's expectations and intentions anyways. It sounds like we're already hitting the next topic.
Oh, my
Hmm.
bad.
Oh, okay. So she just started out 2025. She wants to own a house. Okay. Is there anything
Trying to buy
else?
a house, trying to go to Japan.
Oh shit. Okay.
Already already know the hiragana and the katakana. I
Oh,
don't know kanji for shit, and I only know a few words in Japanese.
dang, bye. We better see you hopping in that airplane. Well, with your house keys and your airplane.
Oh, honestly, I don't know where we're gonna get this money from. I think we're trying to pull it out of our ass or something because I told my husband, I was like, "You're trying to go to Japan next year when we're trying to buy a house." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Where do you think we're getting this money from?"
Man, honestly, you just gotta manifest and always speak positive.
That's what
Oh,
I'm doing. I
positive.
was like, I'm adding like things to my Amazon list of like for our home. And I like titled it like our home things. So like I put things in the cart for things that we're gonna need for
Yeah,
our
you're
house.
parent, exactly. It's gonna make you want to get that. I love it.
Yeah.
And what about for the both of you again, for the boys? Any
Mm.
any expectations or intentions that you guys are trying to do for 2025?
I was gonna mention on the whole points that are being made here
Okay.
that I think especially with like the meditation I'm doing and like I'm looking at things differently, I realize that like if you can enjoy it when the weather's bad, if you can enjoy the parts where you are failing, then like life's pretty much a blast anyway. Because in a lot of ways, when we're older, we're gonna look back fondly on these times that we were struggling in for some reason. And I think that's something we should be like almost like retrospective ahead of time, have that hindsight is 2020 ahead of time, where like we should be grateful about the journey. And that's one of the kind of like paradoxes of goal setting is it's not the goal that you have to do. The goal is where you're going. What you have to do is get there.
Yes.
That's what you have to focus on is the getting there part, the grind, the work, the steps, the climb. If you can learn to love that rhythm and look back on it fondly, because I think that's what they say, like the best stories, it's not about the destination, it's the journey there. So
Mhm.
I think now maybe I'm looking at things better than I was before, where now I am kind of like, I am grateful and have that gratitude where I'm in the place I am right now, even though it's not where thought it, thought that I wanted to be. The thing is, like, I've learned so much in life in the sense that you don't know better than the situation or the life's, you know, whatever life brings you. You have like more of a children's imagination version of what you think is what your next goal is. So I think it's really cool to hear that everyone's like making all this progress in life and setting all these goals. And I think whether or not you reach those goals, just enjoy the journey so far. Cause like the end of the year, I think brings that anxiety of like, oh no, another year passed and I missed another deadline.
Hmm.
But try to like enjoy the whole rhythm of everything and like the resurrection of the new year because I think we will look fondly on these things when we're older. We'll look back on all these things we complained about and kind of miss them to a degree, maybe. I know it's odd to say that, but who
But
knows?
I
absolutely.
mean,
Oh,
I miss being at home all the time when I was a teenager.
fact.
Like
Yeah.
I
And
complained that I didn't go out all the time with my friends, I guess. You know how high school friends are. But like
Mhm.
now I'm like all I want to do is be home. And I can't because I have all of these like events because again, a large family requires a lot of family endeavors, a lot of events, getting together. And I'm like, man, I just want to be home. I feel like I've been socializing for like 30 years, brother.
God.
And
But
now I'm like, teenage me is stupid.
oh my God. It goes back to what he was saying, like that guilt of when we enter that new year and we find ourselves guilty because we didn't accomplish whatever it is that we wrote down or we said what we were gonna do. It's like honestly, I know it's such a human thing to do. We all of us go through this. I know for myself, I'm going through it. Like, yo, I didn't hit whatever milestones I wrote in my little fucking agenda and I feel guilty. But now I know for the next year, it's like, okay, if this year I had a couple setbacks or maybe I was being lazy, I just got to be honest with myself. And I think as listeners and viewers, we just got to be very honest with ourselves. We keep
Mhm.
writing things over and over and over again and then complaining or bitching about like, oh, I didn't hit this because of this, and this, or I feel upset, whatever. It's like, no, why didn't you do it? I think we just
Yeah.
need a day and time to sit down and really ask ourselves the question, why didn't I hit this year? And if I
Like take
do,
responsibility.
take responsibility. If you're going to rewrite the same goal or expectation, whatever, for next year, it's being honest. Am I actually going to do it? Yes or no? Like, why are we wasting our times? You know, like let's not, let's be real. Let's not fake it. You know what I'm saying? So like for you, for example, you're saying, I want to be a house owner, right? You know, like this is what I'm trying to do. You're not trying to fucking like waste your time with this little mindset of yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I'm literally have I dropped everything that I like want to buy every time I want to buy something, and then I'm like, no,
Yeah, because
this looks like
you're
this looks like fun, but I need to buy a house.
but you're saving up because this is what you want to do. And it goes back to it's like if we did not accomplish certain things of 2024 and you want to accomplish it for 2025, just be real with yourself and ask yourself, am I actually going to be doing this? And if yes, write it down. And if not, then reset and re-strategize. What is your game plan for 2025?
And it's like you said earlier about setting the standard. Um, because since I'm like holding back on like buying all of these things, my mom actually told me because I was like, I told her I wanted to buy these things so much, but I'm working really hard on just putting most of my funds into like our house fund. And
Mhm.
she's like, you actually inspired me to not spend as much and like pay down my debts because I'm watching you do it. I'm sitting here being like, if my daughter can do it, I can do it too.
No, I love it. I love it. And it's
Hmm.
exactly in terms of Konami, it's exactly what I want to do for the community is just make it a domino effect. Make it a domino effect, whether people are watching or listening to the podcast or content or even in the Discord community that we currently have. It's just nice for all of us to see us writing, things in the accountability group or our days and stuff, and we're actually accomplishing it. Or maybe we're sharing a message here or there where it's supportive, but we can also, whatever it is that we're learning, we implement that with other people. I think that'd be fucking dope, man. One day around the world, someone's teaching someone's like, yeah, I learned this through Konami. So cool.
It's from this group I'm in. I'm
Yeah, but
chilling.
it's everything that you're saying, like your mom is finding you as an inspiration. That is what I want for Konami. That is my expectation or intention for the year of 2025. Is that somewhere around the world, someone's like, yo, I listened to one of their episodes. I'm like doing it. I'm gonna teach someone who's going through the same thing. It feels good. It feels good to teach.
Putting the energy out there.
Exactly. What about you, Andre?
For me, it's well, for starters, it's me making more cash come next year. I have to just do better. I've already come to one roadblock. I need to go further again. I
Okay.
can't just stop. So
Can't stop, won't stop.
I rather just try and figure that out. And also, like on the side, like for on and off for quite a while, I've been studying Spanish for like the longest time. And
Espanol.
so far, the furthest I've gotten is I can read it moderately to a
Okay.
point. I can read it to a point. I can understand when I hear it just spoken in real time. And if I'm watching a show, I can just tune in for one part, mainly the reading portion, because like I literally use Duolingo. And then like I also use Spanish subtitles on shows. So like I just read that. So like my reading has gotten better on just doing that on and off again, but still. But I want to get to a point where it's really good. I have more confidence to speak it in public. I've done it only twice
I
Okay.
in
mean,
public. I've only done it twice, and it was very short-lived. I literally asked the dude, "Do you have pies?" I asked
Oh
him, "Do you have
my
pies?" And then when I brought that up at a friendsgiving, when I asked my friends about this, is they said that, well, now you're entering parts of like where depending on where they come from, they pronounce it differently.
yeah.
So, because like literally when I asked him, he was like, hmm. He was
What?
really thinking hard where it was. Like, no sé, no sé. I'm like,
God.
hmm.
So
No.
like even in small regions, like or like in within countries, it's still like different dialects. So
Yes.
like I'm from the north and my best friend is from the south. I
Hmm.
said, "Can you bring me some chile cortido?" And she said,
Hmm.
"What?" And I was like, "Chile cortido." And she sat there thinking so hard. And I was like, fuck, I forgot. We're from different regions. The pickled jalapenos. And she was like, "Oh, chile en vinagre." And I was like, "What'd you just
That's
say
how
to
it's
me?"
pronounced. Oh,
Chile in vinegar?
Chile en vinagre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
Okay.
people call it chile
interesting.
en vinagre. We call it chile cortido. Or like there's this candy she asked me to bring and she was like, "Can you bring me some cajeta or dulce de leche?" And I was like,
Oh,
"What do you want me to bring you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sitting here looking everywhere in Mexico for cajeta, like the like caramel, or
Hmm.
like
Okay.
or the dulce de leche, like a can." And then she sends me a picture of what she said, of what she's asking me for, and I was like, "Oh, I don't call that that. We call it jamoncillo." And
Damn,
she was
it's
like,
so different. What the fuck?
"Yeah." And she was like, "What did you just say to me?" And I was
I
like, "We
know.
call
I
it
was like,
jamoncillo."
what?
you
That is
see,
so
Yeah.
different.
you
She
see.
was like, "I did
Oh
not like
my
that."
God. That's so funny.
'Cause I was literally told, like when it came to pies, cause I was literally looking with my roommate at the time. He's like, "Well, I don't speak Spanish." I'm like, "All right, I have idea of what I need to say. However, I forgot what pies was in Spanish. So I'm just like, I'm being desperate to pick it up really quick. I'm like, all right, what is it? What? How is this pronounced?
Yeah, I don't
Tarta?
think I know what pie is.
Tarta? Cause like, so I saw it was supposed to be tarta, but
Tarta?
my
Like torta,
friend said
like
it's
cake.
it's supposed to be like that, but yeah, it was supposed to be tarta. But then my friend said, well, depending on where you are, it might be tata. And
What?
I'm like, hmm,
I don't know. I've never heard this.
that's what that was? Yeah, see, like I was just like I tried it. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just ask him. I was like, disculpe. ¿Tienes tartas? Yeah.
So
I
I'm assuming that your well, not expectation, but your goal for 2025 is to improve your Spanish, is what you're trying to say.
100%.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it was like I even had one my first time was I was in a barber shop and the barber had to keep relying on the other one that spoke English to translate every time. Mid cut also. And he's at a part where he's trying to figure out like if I wanted to like trim it all off like my beard. And I'm just trying to say no, 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 like I don't want to. So I'm just like a little bit. So I'm just like, what's the quickest way I can say this? So I was just like un poco, and he was
un
like,
poquito.
okay, okay, I got you. You funny, you funny. Yeah, I got you.
Is there
It's
anything
like
else that you guys want to share though?
I guess for me, I would probably say focusing on like hormone health in terms of
Mm,
diet
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I recently got diagnosed with endometriosis.
Okay.
oh,
Um and so I've been seeing that like, diet can help a little bit with in terms of like the symptoms and dealing with those kinds of symptoms. that comes with endometriosis, and I'm so tired of dealing with all of the things, and I'm just petrified of getting like really bad cramps again.
So your best bet
Mm.
eventually is to see a naturopath. And it's interesting too because the first episode of the season was with our naturopath, Dr. Jennifer Tang. And what I told her was in the future I want to start focusing more on women's health type of topics. Because like
Mhm.
hormone health is very important. And one of the things I know for myself, I suffer from hormonal imbalance. It's always been that way since like before I even had my first period. Uh,
Yeah.
Something that I remember a nurse told me years ago when I was doing blood work is that this is a common issue for girls nowadays. Majority of the girls or young women are going through, well, suffering from a lot of hormonal issues, and they don't understand why. Well, that was from back then. I'm pretty sure they've had updates, whatever, but it's an ongoing thing. Yeah.
That's the thing that I saw too, because I actually went to in my phlebotomy class, there was a woman there that she has endometriosis as well.
Okay.
And she told me to follow this Facebook group, and it's literally all just about educating yourself on the illness and on the disease. So when I went to the gynecologist, she told me like, "Oh, it's your endometrial lining growing outside of your uterus." And when I did all the research, like when I did all the reading and the research and whatnot, because they put a bunch of articles, they keep up with the most recent studies, and it's not endometrial lining growing outside, it's endometrial like. So it's like similar, but it's its own thing. It's not
Okay.
the same.
So it's just two very different. So it's like that is what you're currently going through, or that's just a discovery that you found out.
It's what every woman with endometriosis is going through.
Okay,
And
okay.
And
it
they
doesn't
they
just,
mistook it.
mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
They like
And
mistook it for being like a growth issue when
Uh,
actually it's a separate cell, but similar.
it's really similar to the endometrial lining, but
Okay.
it's not the same. It
Well,
even grows its own nerves.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
And a lot to
it's crazy.
when it comes to women's health, there's a lot to learn.
Yeah,
But
I
Yeah.
had a friend that had that
it's
too.
it's doing it the holistic way if you can. Holistic
I,
approach for sure.
with endometriosis, you can't really like you can only do as much as you can,
Hmm.
but it's just eventually I do want to go to a specialist
Hmm.
to get it excised, because what it does, it's since it's growing outside of your uterus, it causes a lot of pain and painful periods. And then so like when I finally like eventually got to getting it diagnosed, it was because we went to the ER because my cramps got so bad that I threw up. Like I
Mm.
threw up, and I it felt like my body was trying to birth my uterus.
Jesus. But
It was trying to like push something out.
I remember like there's been a couple friends of mine back in high school that was like in the emergency room because their periods were that bad. It was that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and like and I'll get like sometimes I'll get my period out of nowhere, like in between periods, but it won't be like my full period. It'll be like it'll just be like an in between thing, and it's not normal. I thought it was normal and it was just stress, but it's not normal. And it's like you have like a bunch of lesions growing around, and I have had it for so long that when they were able to see it with an ultrasound.
What?
And
Mm.
they were like, we need to do an ultrasound first because the only way to diagnose it is laparoscopically. But we're gonna see if we can see it with an ultrasound.
And they just saw it just right there.
And they saw it right there. I asked the lady, I was like, could you see it in the ultrasound? And she was like, oh yeah, I definitely saw it.
You see that? It's all in there. All that.
Yeah. And she said, the doctor said, well, it looks like you probably have scar tissue behind your ovaries as well because your ovaries were being pulled back.
Yeah, so you're just
So
do a lot internally right now.
Mm.
yeah, I
20,
told my husband, I was like, call me a slingshot. Shit.
yeah.
Uh-uh.
This 25 is gonna be interesting for you. Like that's a whole journey on its own, man.
Oh yeah, I was like, I I'm thinking like in terms of hormonal like diet and whatnot, that at least it'll help with the symptoms. The only thing you can do with
Mm.
it is just treat the symptoms because they'll give you birth control. The gynecologist told me, "Oh, it'll stop it from growing." But then everything that I've read is saying, "No, it just
No,
treats the symptoms."
it's just it's masking the issue, but it's not a solution. And take
Yeah.
it from me, I've been a person again at a young age given birth control pills without a knowledge of what it's doing to me. It didn't do much. It just masked my issue.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for endometriosis. She gave me birth control because I accepted it because that's what she wanted me to do. So
Mhm.
I was like, sure. I just wanted to get out of that office because I didn't want to continue be pressured to take birth control.
Yep. And
And I,
I get it. I completely understand.
yeah, and then I sat there and I like was crying holding this little like packet of like birth control and looking at all the side effects and the whole paper that like it comes with. And I told my husband, I was like, I don't want to do this. And he was like, then don't do it. I understand that this is also a scary experience for you because you're just like I can only imagine how he feels just watching me like go through that pain
Stressed out.
when
Yeah, because you
yeah,
they don't know what kind of side effects you're going to be going through if you were to take it. So I'm
I
actually
have to take muscle relaxers.
shit, yo, this girl.
Hmm.
God damn.
Just during my periods,
Oh
though.
my gosh.
What about
Oh.
for you, Varone? Like, is there anything in terms of 2025, like anything that you have set for yourself?
Um, Definitely, push for more growth in the sense of my career, finish my portfolios.
Yeah,
Because I have held off on that because I wanted to take a bit of a break on drawing too seriously, even though I've been drawing nonstop since in different projects. The stuff I've done is fairly easy. But I don't necessarily, luckily, knock on wood, I don't have any health issues I need to look for some sort of changes in, but I would like to maybe get more flexible and stuff. But I do
Oh,
think
that's a
that's
good goal
definitely
to have.
something,
mm-hmm.
yeah, like, just because as I get older, I want to have good body health so I can take care of myself and, my parents and stuff. But I do think, like you said on your topic, I do think that's an important thing that maybe in the upcoming year we'll hopefully have some sort of discussion about, especially in America, because the kind of things that are happening. But women's health and research into women's health is still honestly very new in a lot of respects. It's only a couple of decades old because Western
Hmm.
science is only a couple centuries old because, Dark Ages and all these things and demonizing
Yeah.
women for their issues and, outcasting women for their issues instead of dealing with them. So hopefully people finally start taking this kind of stuff seriously because there's going to be a lot of, newer issues coming up with like women's health and with what is it like research into like reproductive issues and stuff because
Yo, like we're complicated.
yeah,
Listen,
Yeah.
okay.
it's not necessarily that. The thing is, men kind of centered it on ourselves, so we made it. All the measurements, all the devices, all the treatments are very male centric because we didn't think of women. It was very self centered
From
science even.
from what I remembered studying in college, like massage therapy, we had to study, I think it was like pathophys and neurology. I forgot like the other things that we had to learn. But let me
Hmm.
tell you, every symptom that you can think of starts with fucking women at the age of like 40 to and plus is where all these issues happen. I'm telling you, there was a week where maybe there was like one or two symptoms where it says it's primarily for males, and you see all the women finally clapping, like fucking finally, because every risk was it starts with women. I'm like, Jesus Christ, yo, like why are we going through this shit?
Let me catch a break, brother.
So
I- I've
stressful.
I've been following a British comedian. I forgot her name. I think it's like Davina something, but she's like working on women's health and reproductive health. And she talks about this issue, which I think you were talking about too, where
Oh,
women will be like the doctor won't believe you or trust what you're saying about your diagnosis. You know, they won't listen to your diagnosis of your symptoms. They'll be like, no, you're going through this. And like a lot of women have experienced this where they're like, they had to go to three, four doctors before finally one of the doctors actually listened to what they're going through and gave them a true diagnosis.
Well, that's
I
why.
was
Oh no.
fortunate. I was fortunate when I went to the ER that the ER doctor that treated me had PCOS.
Mm,
So when I was telling her like what I was feeling and everything, she was like, "It sounds like you have endometriosis."
okay. Yeah, you
And
got.
she was like, "Yeah," she said, "Everything you're saying sounds like endometriosis, but we can't diagnose you here because you need to get it diagnosed laparoscopically. You need to go to a gynecologist." And I went to the gynecologist, and even when I told her like the ER thinks that I might have endometriosis, she kind of looked at me like, "Are you
Huh.
sure?"
You should have just looked at her back like, yeah.
Yeah, she was already looking at me crazy for not being on birth control. She was
No,
like,
So,
it's so
she was
fucked.
like,
It's so
she was
fucked.
like, "Do you want to get pregnant?" And
And yeah, maybe.
I was like, "No," but we're
Maybe.
sitting here like, but if it happens, it happens. Like, shit, all the precautions we take. Like, kid, you wanted to live that bad, then that's cool.
Mm.
But like I told her and she was like, "Okay, but do you want to get pregnant?" And I was like, "Why are you interrogating me?" No, I
With
don't
the
want
whole
to get
pregnancy
pregnant.
video, I'm like, yo, like,
Yeah.
what's wrong
She
with
was
you?
more focused
That's
on
just,
that than the fact that
yeah.
I'm sitting here struggling.
I know for myself, okay, so hmm, New Year, so 2025.
mhm,
I actually sat down with my homegirl recently because we were starting to do like a weekly get together of like
Mm,
organizing our calendars, ideas, all these things. So myself, what I told her is I want to do more collaborations for the year of 2025. Now, this is just my personal, it has nothing to do with Konami. More collaborations because how I see my future is being able to travel, but I'm traveling with intention. Like I'm not just traveling just for the fun of it. I'm traveling
mm,
because I have
mm,
these, let's just say these fitness spaces or clinics or whatever that want me to pop in, and collaborate with them. Like a Will
yeah.
Tennyson, like I was telling her, I want to be the female Will Tenny. So that is something that I want to do for 2025. So I already started that in 2024, which is gaining some type of traction. Like I do have people lined up, but I want to be the person to approach businesses instead, just to get a feel, see how it goes. Another thing is, man, travel because I haven't done any type of traveling ever since the pandemic, career change and everything like that. Like I'm hoping if I can't go out and about, like if I can't leave the country, at least let me visit different provinces. Like at least
Yeah.
do that, like on a budget type of thing, right?
Balling on a budget.
Exactly. Like those are like my main two. I would say like the next one, and it's exactly what we're all saying is make more money 2025. Yo, cash money, guys. Like we gotta make money.
mhm.
In order for us to get to where we need to go, we gotta make fucking money. Let's be honest.
Unfortunately, we require money.
But if it comes down to Konami for the year of 2025 is to build a stronger foundation when it comes to community. That's all that I want to see is just more growth. Different podcast speakers would be dope. And like that's it. That's my main focus. Everything else will be for another year. But like those are my two main things for Konami. Yeah. So as we continue on, guys, because we talked a lot about women's health and Spanish and everything.
You're right.
Um, it's okay. I know we're chatters here. We're chatters.
We're chatty Cathy. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're listen, guys. We're
Jump
in.
right back
Maybe
in.
That was a lot.
We're in.
maybe Jay likes me because I don't shut the fuck up.
I'm not gonna say shit, anyways.
Damn.
The year 2025. With our whole mental health, I'm pretty sure we have gone through a lot mentally this year. Is there anything that you guys are going to do differently for 2025 when it comes to mental health? Or anything that you guys might want to share to listeners or viewers? For them that's entering 2025, what kind of tips, advice, or maybe even a message you want to give them to?
I
Mm,
would say give yourself some grace.
Okay.
Give yourself some grace. That's been my motto for the past year.
I fuck with it.
Give yourself some grace. Like I'm exhausted like today. I'm exhausted from work. I have all of this going on in my mind. I just don't want to work out today. I
Mhm.
can just save it for tomorrow in the morning. I'm not doing anything in the morning.
And that's completely fine.
Just give yourself some grace.
Yeah, that's
Even if in terms of like work, school, life is crazy. Life gets busy and you're not gonna get to do everything that you plan to do.
Yeah.
okay. What about you, Andre? And pardon me, I might hop off. I gotta charge my phone, so there won't be me in the video. Like,
Oh,
you got this.
okay,
I
but
feel
yeah, for
vulnerable.
me, I think
I'm
it's the
kidding.
idea is that you need to learn not to let your emotions get the better of you. I've I've dealt with that quite a bit where my emotions just end up taking over and I do actions based on emotion and despite the fact that I am trying to be logical as I go through it,
Hmm.
a great deal of it is still running on the emotion that I'm feeling. Like if I'm feeling angry, then a lot of it is still being based through anger, but I am navigating it as logically as I can, where I'm still acting on emotion, but it's like in a safe space, but even then it's emotion based. So some of the logic is still not there despite me trying to put logic into it. So with that, it's just a matter of really trying to understand to keep your emotions in check because you can
Hmm.
be really smart and still go down the wrong path because you just got too angry. You know walling yourself into a heap of emotion. It could even put yourself into self-pity, it could be in around depression. It could be whatever it may be. You can have a moment where those emotions rule you and you make decisions that you normally would have never made based on them without realizing. And by the time you realize what you've done based on those decisions, you've already gone so deep. It's done.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So I would implore trying to control that, to try and find a way to bring yourself in check. Be it breathing exercise, meditating, um, finding an outlet to express that emotion that's starting to bottle up. Figure that out. Find out how to cope and go from there.
that's that concept is pretty similar to what I've been doing anyway with, like you said, the whole meditation thing. With the yoga, I've kind of realized that um I'm more intentional of the behind the scenes or behind the camera kind of way of looking at my life, in the sense that before, where I would be in the situation and looking at the actors and the actions and getting caught up in the emotion and getting angry based on that, now I'm kind of more so looking at the temperature of my emotions behind all of the things happening around me. So I'll notice, like, oh, I'm getting agitated now. Now I'm starting to pick up a little anger, or like that response was a little bit too sharp. Then I can kind of reel back. So I'm catching my emotion now, in the sense that um, anger to me is not necessarily an emotion in the sense of like sorrow, despair, and joy and stuff. Anger to me is what happens when your body and your mind don't know how to respond anymore. So they just, you know, 404 error. And then that's anger. So like one thing I'm realizing is, as long as I feel like I'm in control of what's happening around me, and especially inside me, not around me, but as long as I'm comfortable with what's happening around me, but in charge of what's happening inside me, I probably won't get angry. So I think for the mental
Hmm.
health side of things, I've been doing well. But I'm also having my flashes of rage here and there, but I'm catching it and I'm
Mhm.
realizing it's,
This guy's
I'm like,
just
I don't
saying
need
it
to.
so casually. Yeah,
Yeah.
rage here
Well,
or there.
I've had this.
But
We're not
that's
letting
that's
that
the way that
slide,
it works.
sir.
Because like rage is like this dragon or this demon, but when you look at it like a poodle, then it stops being able to bite you, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I got angry there for no reason.
I, I've had
No,
I've had
I
a
Listen,
I've
I
had
get what
a
you're saying.
therapist. I've had a therapist describe anger as like an iceberg. Like you
Huh.
feel the initial emotion of like anger, like these re like really, big emotions, but usually there's a reason why you're angry, and below is a bunch of other feelings that could be what's bringing you to anger.
100%.
I like
It
Hmm.
that.
comes from
I like
it
that.
comes from pain. For different people, it's different. For some people, it comes from pain. You feel pain, you get angry. You
Hmm.
poke a, you pinch a dog, it'll snip at you, it'll bark at you. So like we have that reaction too. I think that's one thing is like raising your barrier or distance because nobody really physically
Hmm.
harms us. Most of us, the most of us are getting angry at slights or insults or situations in the world around us when actually we can kind of just put that barrier a little further and not let it bother us. That's one thing meditation helps with is perspective. I think that's what it helps with.
Hmm.
Okay. I actually like that.
Hmm.
Man, you guys are teaching me stuff in this episode. I'm just saying. You guys are teaching me
She's
stuff.
getting learned.
We're all teaching and learning.
I know. So with you guys have shared a couple things for the listeners or viewers, but I would say mentally,
Mm.
like my mental health check-in, um, like, oh, like I'm just gonna say this. Owning two fucking pets that are babies has stressed me the fuck out, where I've had mental breakdowns, like
Yeah.
literally crying, and these guys are
Oh.
confused. Like, what is wrong with you today? What is going on?
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yo, okay,
I
I
could get
recently,
abstract, but like, what if it's not the pets? What if it's them finally making you drop your guard and
holy shit,
approach
yo,
those
like
things?
we're not doing this
Uh,
today. Yeah, okay, listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong because I'm being selfish. And that's me being brutally honest. It's I love my old lifestyle where I can edit for hours and not think about anybody because I don't take care of myself properly. Like when I'm editing, I'm editing. I forget to eat, I forget to drink water, take breaks, like because I'm
mhm.
in my zone, right? And there's so many other factors like late night workouts or early mornings. Maybe like there's so many reasons behind this. So having them around, I'm like, yo, like now I gotta share my life with you guys. Like now
The
I
thing
gotta
about
re-strategize my whole routine and stuff. Like, nah, this is
the thing
unacceptable.
about the
This is
thing about
hard.
pets, I feel like the thing about pets is they bring you back to reality.
Oh, they do.
They bring
I
you back to
actually
reality, and they
I
like
called my mom.
force you. They
Oh,
they bring you back to reality,
yeah.
and then they force you to just kind of like get into a
Slow
routine.
down. Slow down
Slow
is what they're
down
forcing me
and
to
get
do.
into a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay
Yeah.
attention.
And you guys are not wrong. Well, I'm like charging my phone, but for some reason it's still gonna die. What the heck? Anyways,
No.
you're not wrong because when I had the kitten first, she was teaching me to actually take breaks and take naps with her. But
Hmm.
with the dog, it's being more in the moment because he's teaching me like, oh my God, you're spending so much time on one thing, but what about me? Or like, what about this
Mm,
kind of thing, right? So I'm like
mm.
trying to
Yeah.
be more present and not be all over the place because I know once I'm in my head and I'm the way that I am, like you see how anxious he gets. I'm like, oh shit, like okay, let me try and be patient, right? Um,
Mm.
I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I'm not having kids. Like this is no.
I've
I'm
learned
turned
my
off.
limit.
I'm turned off. I'm not doing it.
Damn.
Maybe next year it will be different, but mentally right now it's I find myself high in stress because of them. Like I wouldn't blame it on them, but it's just a lot of
It's a lot to
shifting my life
handle.
around. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's honestly it is a lot. But I'm hoping that for next year, like I learn to be a lot more patient, not have whatever temper tantrums I tend to have because I am hot headed. Um, and not being like doubtful with whatever journey I'm in. It has nothing to do with them. It's just overall life. Just stop having doubts. As many
Hmm.
times as I share in my posts or whatever, like I'm confident, I'm this and this and that. There's always gonna be times where I'm like, I hold myself back and I can't have that anymore. Like the older that I'm getting, I'm losing opportunities. And I don't want that. I don't want to live my life in regret. So 2025,
Yeah.
I'm going all fucking in. I might be annoying. I'm dragging my pets everywhere I fucking go. Like this is happening 2025, okay?
Get them signed up as
Um,
ESA animals.
but yeah,
Emotional support.
I love that you guys shared like a message or any tips for them and stuff. And honestly, I guess like a mini tip that I would give for like the listeners or audience, like or viewers actually, it's when you're entering 2025, and this is what I said earlier, it's you just got to be as truthful as you can be for yourself. Don't mask anything, don't lie to yourself, don't blame it on other people or maybe a situation. Like be as truthful as you can be, and you'll see how far you can progress. That is my message for you guys. um Moving on though, because we're almost done, and my phone's about to die. I don't know why. Like I'm charging my phone. I don't know what's going on.
Your phone's fighting for its life right now.
Yo, like it's not it right now. It's just not happening. Anyways, is there anything else that you guys want to share? Like maybe for the listeners or audience when it comes to building a habit for the new year? Or maybe even like I know you guys already gave some pointers when it comes to mental health or whatever, but is there anything else that you want to share, for them, like an affirmation, something positive? And if not, that's okay. Because I know for season one, we've done all that.
I would just want to tell the listeners to take a moment and listen to, be sensitive to, enjoy the whole breadth of the changing of the season and like the new year coming and the celebration that comes with it. Because like the whole planet is spinning around the sun, and the way that we can celebrate that year and year, generation, civilization after civilization, I think that's where we should really keep our focus and kind of just like take it all in, absorb it. Don't be too hard on yourself with the New Year's resolutions. Like, don't use regret and guilt. Just try and do your best, enjoy the process, and treat it like a challenge or a project. So I hope you enjoy your new year and all the things that come with it, because there's gonna be ups and downs every year, but
Just
hopefully
enjoy
this one,
it.
yeah.
Just enjoy it. I love it.
From what Andre was saying earlier about Spanish, I feel like I need to get on my own ass about like being consistent with like learning kanji in Japanese.
Yo, okay, listen.
Mhm.
For me, it would have to be Spanish because
Really?
I'm losing the language. Yeah,
Oh
I
shit.
yeah, I'm losing it.
Oh,
Listen,
we're speaking together then. That's what we're
listen.
practicing together.
At work, there's a lot of Latinos at work, and they all found out that I'm Peruvian. I kind of wanted to just be a mystery. So now they're talking to me in Spanish with the expectation that I'm going to respond back. And I'm like, guys, like, I'm not doing this. I will talk to
Not
you
gonna
in
Yeah.
happen.
English, but I'm too embarrassed to even try.
Yeah, no,
Like, I can't.
the way my brain was working overdrive when I was in Mexico, like
Yeah, it
not
just makes me
like
not want to talk. It just makes you just want
not
to
not
do head
even
nod
that.
and do this.
Not even that, because even in Spanish, I'm still a chatty Cathy. Like it doesn't matter what language I'm in. Like
Oh my God.
I'm still a chatty Cathy. So I wouldn't shut up in Spanish, but like my brain spent that whole week just thinking in Spanish and like translating from Spanish to English for like once in my life. And like on the majority of the time that when I came back, my tongue was all kinds of twisted. I was wanting to say some things in Spanish. I was wanting to say some other things in like
Oh my goodness.
more Spanish. My brain was just like I tried pronounce I would like pronounce English words with Spanish like in my brain. So it's
So
like
it's our habits of 2025 is to be more fluent.
We're
That's what you're
all
saying. We're
jumping
to be
on the
more fluent.
Spanish train,
Yo, there might be an
baby.
upcoming podcast where we're only speaking Spanish. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm down in Jiggy.
I'll work with it.
That's
I'll do it.
it might be a thing. Who knows?
I'm
Yes.
fortunately still pretty fluent in Spanish. You know,
No, not
gotta
me.
thank
Unfortunately.
working with my mom for that one.
Oh man, no, you're lucky. That's on me for moving out at a very early age and living with somebody who does not speak Spanish. Like,
I also talk to my mom all the time. So like even if I wasn't working with her, I'd probably be calling her and being like, "Mom, what is happening? And we talk a lot. My mom and I will talk a lot. So I'm like,
so that's how you're practicing.
yeah, it's how I practice and how I stay consistent. And I make it a point to strictly speak Spanish with her.
No, I like that. So that's basically what we have to do, guys. A future podcast episode, okay? We're all just gonna try our best to speak in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
down.
I'm fine with
It's
that.
what I told
I'll do it.
it's what I told my husband. You find a specific person that you see frequently and you speak that strictly that language that you want to speak. So like my husband is Lao and I want
Okay.
him to know I want him to still have the Lao. I don't want him to lose it. And I want our future children to speak both Lao and Spanish. And so I told him, I was like, you better talk to your mother in Lao. I was like, if I'm there, I don't care. You speak to that woman in Lao. I was like, you consistently you can just translate to me whatever you guys are saying. I don't care if you're speaking it in front of me. It doesn't matter. I want you to keep the language.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like
And
that.
it's use it or lose it. That's the main thing I learned about language. Use it or lose it.
And I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Since you guys have this fucking goal of learning a new language and stuff, I actually want to brush up on sign language because that's something that I've learned at a really young age. I only did it just to surprise my cousin because he's deaf. And as a kid, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to learn these these little gestures or these little sentences so I can surprise him. And I actually did. So he got emotional because he's a lot older than I am. Like he's a lot older.
Oh.
So I don't want to lose that because I honestly think like there's been times where I have come across somebody who's deaf and they would try and interact and they get surprised that I, can talk to them in some ways, but I want to be more fluent. Like, yo, listen, naturally my hands are all over the place. This is how I talk. Might as well use it,
Yeah.
Might as well use it for something useful. I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't see a problem.
Is there anything else you guys want to share? And if not, I'm just gonna wrap it up with the message. Just let me know. Anything else you guys want to share? Yes, no. Are we hiding?
Good.
I guess you're hiding.
Chilling.
Hiding.
We're set.
It's all good. We listen. This episode was fun. I honestly think we should do it again. And hopefully now I'm blushing. Now I'm fucking red as fuck. Now I'm blushing. All right. So this is a message that I've been going back and forth with ChatGPT because I was like, yo, listen, I have this message and I don't want to sound stupid when I read this. Like everything's gotta be correct. So here it is. To listeners or viewers, whoever you are, this is my message for you guys before we end it. We are stepping into 2025 and it's a brand new chance to start fresh. Whether you're picking up where you left off or diving into something completely new, remember, this year is yours to make. You've already made it through another year, and that in itself is something to celebrate, okay? Now, take it one day at a time and don't rush. There will be tough moments, but there will be wins along the way too. Be kind to yourself through it all. Progress, no matter how small, it's still progress. You've got everything you need to make this year amazing. So let's get it. So let's get it after. Oh my God, I can't finish this sentence.
Let's get after it.
Let's fucking go, guys. Let's go. Man. Let's hype each other up. That's all I'm trying to say. That was a terrible way of me saying my message, but you know what?
Let's go.
It's like you said, the small wins, you got to celebrate them.
I'm celebrating this win I read, and I probably sounded stupid, but you know what?
No, you didn't.
Hopefully a listener got inspired by that.
Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy every single moment of your life. Okay? Enjoy it. If there's a fuck up, if there is a fucking setback, maybe something didn't happen the way that you wanted to, maybe, friends didn't work out. I don't know what's going on with your life, but either way, it's not something to be upset over or be hung up over. It's celebrate every little thing because it's always a lesson. Everything in our life is always a lesson. That's all I'm gonna say.
As my
Okay?
father would tell me, no pasa nada.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Love it.
Nothing gonna happen. No pasa nada. You
All
fuck
right.
up. No pasa nada. It's okay.
Thank you guys for joining. Yo, I had fun. I had
Me
fun.
too.
I'm just saying, I had
Yeah.
fun. I had fun. I wish we all had like those little confetti, like little guns and shit. I wish we could do that countdown together.
The count. Oh shit, you're right.
You're
We're
like
in different
confetti.
time zones though.
We really are. Yeah.
This is the closest.
Oh man, it would have been fun. But I'm hoping for the next year I see you guys again for an upcoming podcast.
Woo.
Everything that we talked about, it's already here. It's being recorded. It's being shared in social platforms. And we're going to review this again, perhaps mid-year 2025. I'm just saying.
God,
Damn,
we're going on the
pressure.
interwebs.
Yo, pressure. I'm just saying.
All right.
Alrighty.
Now
Take
I
care.
really gotta, yeah.
Yeah. Take care, guys. You guys want to say goodbye to listeners and viewers before end this?
Peace.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Happy New
Year.
Year.